Albert Meza says, posted an item on end-of-life policies for Chromebooks. Even though he did clarify the post, I wonder if Chromebooks will become obsolete within 4 to 5 years. Aren't they just browsers anyway? Well, Albert, the whole point of operating system being in a browser is so that it doesn't become obsolete. Because the beautiful thing about a browser is that it's operating system independent. Now, this has been one of the biggest battles that all the operating system companies have had to endure over the years. How do we remain relevant? How do we remain the go-to platform for developers who are developing and designing applications? And what's going to decide the future of operating systems is not so much the quality of those operating systems, but the ease of use and availability and the cost effectiveness of those operating systems. It's just like the gaming industry. It goes where the applications are. Developers flock to a platform that they feel is going to be sustainable. Right now, many developers are flocking to the browser environment. The browser environment gives much more power and flexibility than the tablet and mobile market, because the browser environment gives you the ability to develop full applications. Now, that's what I freaking love about Chromebooks, because the idea behind this technology is it's still in its infant stage. It's still very early, very young, and it's also extremely powerful because it can be used anywhere. So you can have a browser on your phone, you can have a browser on your computer, you can have a browser on your Chromebook, you can have a browser just about anywhere, and you can run the full applications from within that browser. That's why you see companies like Adobe creating this creative cloud service. That's why you see all these major developers like Microsoft's deciding, crap, we're going to have to make a Microsoft Office for a browser. And so all of these companies are now getting on board with the browser development. Why? Because it's here to stay. It's not one of those technologies that is going to obsolete itself, because little did they realize, and Google obviously realized this, but little did they realize, and they should have, is that the operating system of the future is a non-operating system. So it's, in other words, it's a hardware-independent operating system. And that's really where Chrome shines, because Chrome doesn't require that you have a Chromebook. Just like Windows. Windows does require that you have a Windows computer. Mac requires that you have a Mac computer. It requires that you have a processor that supports the Mac software, and you can install the Mac software. And anything a developer writes for that software or that program requires that the user have Macintosh installed, or that requires that they have Windows installed. Well, but if you write an application for a browser, guess what? Everybody who has a phone, everybody who has a laptop, everybody who has a Chromebook, everybody who has a tablet instantly has access to it. Your customer base just instantly becomes massive. And so that's why you see this huge flood of people running towards web development. And that's why when I talk on my show, when people are asking, hey, Craig, what programming language should I learn? I'm like, get into web development, because that's where everything's going to be going. That's where everything is going. Cloud-based computing, cloud-based development, software as a service, virtualization, all of these platforms are the platforms of the future. And 4 or 5 years, I doubt it. Maybe the Chromebook as we know it will evolve to something greater, but you will actually see more and more technology become dependent on this browser interface as things progress forward. And that is an excellent question, by the way. And a lot of people just don't see this happening, and it does. It is definitely happening.